Well, if you woke up late during the fourth ODI, if you're watching in India, then you missed all of it because it lasted just 45.3 overs in which India were bowled out for 92 in 30.5. Yuzvendra Chahal finds himself on the batting summary for perhaps the first and last time in his career, and otherwise Trent Boult's 5 for 21 has completely dismantled India after Kane Williamson won the toss and what is the first of 2 dead rubbers in this 5-match ODI series. Deep Dasgupta with me to just look back at that game. How much consequence is that sort of result? I mean, it's forget that India have lost the game, but when you get bowled out for 92, albeit without Virat Kohli, would you care or would you just say we're trying different things? It's fine.
No, obviously you would care. I mean, end of the day, it's an international game and you lose quite heavily. You would care. But having said that, listen, also you're sitting in that dressing room and looking at players. You're kind of also looking at your options for the World Cup. And especially, I mean, you're going to start playing the World Cup in the month of May, where the ball might swing a bit, like it did here in the fourth ODI.
Sure.
So you might be looking at from that perspective as well. If the ball starts swinging, who are my better options then?
Yeah, and those are some questions that India, can you say they still haven't answered? An opportunity lost for some of the middle order to get some runs with a lot to do in the absence of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan not getting the runs. We look at the reasons why, but first some numbers on how this performance rates, this 92 that India have managed, and it's the second lowest ODI total for India against New Zealand. But that's going back a long time for the first one. They got 88 all out in 2010, and of course it doesn't make for good reading when you've only managed to get double figures in ODI cricket. Let's speak a little bit more about Trent Boult, destroyer-in-chief for New Zealand. Left arm seam again coming to India's downfall. Is that a pattern or is that something that I'm just bringing up as a tease? Deep Dasgupta, Mohammad Amir, Trent Boult. We don't see Mitchell Starc in white ball cricket, but like you say, if it swings in the World Cup, teams would fancy a left-arm seamer who can get the ball in.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, historically, off late, if you look at Indian batsmen against left-arm seam, their numbers aren't that flattering. So, if the ball starts coming back into most of the right-handers that India has, then it could be an issue, and we've seen that in the recent past. So, yes, Trent Boult looked a different bowler. The conditions were different. The ball was swinging more than we've seen the last 3 ODIs. I thought the pitch was little on the damper side as well. It was like stopping a bit. So that helped the bowlers as well. So, yeah, he looked like a different bowler altogether.
Yeah, and that's resulted in his 5th 5-wicket haul. Where does that take him on the all-time list for New Zealand for the most 5-wicket hauls in one-day international cricket? And you'd see he's joined with the great Sir Richard Hadlee, having played a lot lesser than New Zealand's finest cricketer, arguably. 115 matches for Hadlee and just 75 for Trent Boult, both of them with 5 5-wicket hauls. New Zealand will rely heavily on Trent Boult, and what's a big year for them. He was effective in the last World Cup in 2015, and we look at some of the numbers for bowlers since 2015, and Boult right up there in ODI cricket with 128 wickets. He's bowled more maidens than anybody else as well, and more 5-wicket hauls than anyone else in that period. I'm not sure that Boult-Saudi combination is still going strong, but Trent Boult today, you said he was twice the bowler that he was in the first few games. So what about Boult makes him that much more effective when he just gets a little bit of swing?
It's kind of common for all left-arm seamers, and especially Boult, because he has that ability to get the ball back into the right-hander. Because once you start doing that, then you know your stock ball, which holds its line and goes straight with the angle, that becomes that much more deceptive because the batsman, more often than not, is thinking about that in-swinger. So I think when he starts getting the ball to swing back in, he's definitely a different bowler, and that's what he looked in the fourth ODI.
And modern-day batsmen aren't quite used to playing this. It's a rare commodity now, left-arm seamers who can swing it in. That makes it harder sometimes?
Yes, it is. I mean, not just about left-arm. If you look at modern-day cricket and batsmen predominantly, every time the ball starts moving around, be it a fast bowler or a spinner, you find batsmen in trouble more often than not. So I think, you know, that ability of Boult to get the ball to swing around, if it does swing, I mean, he looks a different bowler, and we've seen those numbers there. I mean, that just shows his ability to swing the ball around.
Yeah, and he also features on a list of the best bowling performance for New Zealand against India in ODIs, second only to Shane Bond, who managed a 6-wicket haul, the only one for a New Zealand bowler against India in the history of ODI cricket. Another reason that they did get going New Zealand, not just for Trent Boult and his 10 overs on the trot and the 5 wickets that he took, but Colin de Grandhomme came in and chipped in too. A couple of wickets in an over that broke the back of the middle order, and it raises similar questions, Deep. Yes, the ball was swinging and everyone failed, and sometimes then we get away with looking at the middle order with too much criticism. But it's another opportunity for either one of Raidu, Karthik or Kedar Jadhav to say without Kohli, Dhawan and Rohit's runs and with a lot to do, they can almost on their own set a platform for India.
True, yeah. I mean, without the top three and Dhoni in the middle order, they had a great opportunity there to kind of stake their claims to the positions for the World Cup, playing 11, so to say, because if you, between Kedar, Raidu and Dinesh Karthik, I don't think three of them will play, two of them will play. This was a great opportunity to, like I said, to tell the world that, listen, you know, I can handle that situation, and especially someone like Dinesh Karthik, who's predominantly been used for the last 5-10 overs in the recent past. It was a great opportunity with 25 odd overs left, and he was out there to kind of, you know, show a different side of him.
So if everything is about getting your World Cup, all the boxes ticked for your World Cup, or as many boxes ticked, are you convinced yet that Raidu, Karthik and Kedar will definitely be going, or is there still a case where you look at these performances and you say, you know, I still have some questions, maybe even if there is 5 or 6 games, we can try something else?
I won't try anything else right now. I think they've done all right.
Okay.
Raidu, Kedar and DK. Kedar obviously a little different because he's your 6th bowling option as well.
Sure.
So I won't look at it because it's too late anyways. I mean, we've got just one Australia series and one last game here left in this series. So I don't think I will try too many things. And to be fair to them, they've done all right. Yes, I mean, let's not look at this.
They've always had one of Rohit, Virat or Kohli.
Yeah, somebody who would generally do that.
And then they play the supporting role.
True, and Dhoni's found his mojo as well. So yeah, so I don't think we need to really worry too much. I mean, 92 is an aberration.
All right, and it ensured that New Zealand weren't going to embarrass themselves any further by not getting the 92, courtesy Henry Nicholls getting some runs. Makeshift or maybe a different choice of opener that New Zealand have employed in place of the hard-hitting Colin Munro, who wasn't firing in the first 3, and along with Ross Taylor, the two of them managing a steady enough partnership to see things through. Henry Nicholls at the top of the order. Maybe New Zealand have realised they need a little more stability or order.
Solidity. Yeah, I think so. And especially when you look at, again, you know, the World Cup being played at England, first half of the World Cup, the ball might swing around. You need somebody who can hang around, or like I said, maybe a little more solidity up in the top 3.
Yeah.
So I think he looked good. He looked good. He looked the part as an opener in one-day cricket as well. So yeah, I mean, unless they're looking at Colin Munro again as a bowling option and batting in the middle order with that with his brand of batting. Yeah, but as far as Henry's concerned, he looked all right.
All right. An aberration, like Deep Das Gupta says, this 92 all out. India shouldn't be thinking too much of it. But yes, an opportunity for the middle order again to try and maybe do one up on the other if not all 3 of Kedar, Karthik and Raidu are to finally make an 11 for the World Cup. We'll see if they get another opportunity to try and put the runs on the board in the 5th ODI at Wellington on Sunday.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.